Hello everyone, welcome back to P4 Pharma, myself Anjita Aravind. Today we are discussing the pharmacology of anti-Parkinsonian drugs which comes under psychopharmacology. So today we are discussing anti-Parkinsonian agents. Before that we will study what is Parkinsonism. So Parkinsonism is an extrapyramidal motor disorder and it is characterized by rigidity, tremor and hypokinesia with the secondary manifestations. If untreated, the symptoms progress and on several years later to the end stage, the disease in which the patient becomes rigid and unable to move and unable to breathe properly, and they will suffer some chest infections or embolism too. Here I added an image which will show the 5 stages of Parkinsonian disease. In the stage 1 to stage 5, you can see the changes what will happen in the patient. In the stage 1, the patient feels slightly tremor on one side of their body, and the symptoms are often mild and include changes in walking, posture and the facial expressions only. And when the stage 2, the symptoms worsens and affect both the sides of the body, and changes in walking and moving make daily tasks become more difficult to do by the patients. In the stage 3 situations, there is a loss of balance and sullenness of the movements and make falls more common, and the symptoms which significantly impair the activities of the daily living life of the patient. And when we considering the stage 4, in the stage 4 the symptoms are severe and limit the ability to live alone, and the walkness or other aids are used daily to help the support limited mobilities. So in the fourth stage we need a walkers to support our mobility, and in the stage 5 there's confined to a wheelchairs or a bed, a 24-hour caretaker is required to the patient, and many experiences like hallucination and other non-motor symptoms may experienced by the patient in the stage 5. So these are the 5 stages of the Parkinson's disease, which is an extrapyramidal motor disorder. And here in the psychopharmacology, the anti-Parkinsonian agents, which are the specific drugs to treat the extrapyramidal side effects which caused by the antipsychotic agents. The side effects may be Parkinsonism, akathisia, acute dystonia and tardive dyskinesia. And also the drugs such as anticholinergics, antihistamines and amantadines used to treat these side effects too. So this is all about the Parkinson's disease and the anti-Parkinsonian agents and its use in the psychopharmacology. So here I added the classification of anti-Parkinsonian agents. These are comes under mainly 2 categories, that is the drug enhancing dopaminergic activities and also the drug reducing cholinergic activities, and its subdivisions and examples are given here. In the later times, the belladonna alkaloids has been empirically used in the Parkinsonian disease, and a breakthrough was made in the 1967 when the levodopa was found to produce a dramatic improvement in the Parkinsonism patients, and its use, it was based on the sound scientific investigation that is made in the preceding 10 years. That is, we already know that the dopamine is present in our brain and it is depleted by the reserpines, and the reserpine induced motor defect, it is reversed by the dopa is a precursor of the dopamines. Thus the Parkinsonism was categorized as a dopamine deficiency state, and the levodopa was used to make the good this deficiency. And because the dopamine itself does not cross the blood-brain barrier, and in the subsequent years a number of levodopa potentiators and the dopamine agonists have been developed as adjuvants or the alternatives. Thus in the classification itself we can see that the drug enhancing dopaminergic activity is subdivided into the precursors of dopamines, that is the levodopa or L-dopa, and dopaminergic agonist, that is bromocriptines, lizurides, pergolides, perbidiles and ropinirole and apomorphines. And the third category is the drug releasing dopamine, that is the dopamine facilitator or otherwise known as the NMDA receptor antagonist. Example is the amantadines, and the drug inhibiting dopamine metabolism, that is mainly two categories there, that is the MAO-B inhibitor and COMT inhibitors. In the MAO-B inhibitors, the examples are the selegiline and the rasaglins, and in the COMT inhibitors, COMT means the catechol or methyl transferase inhibitors. The catechol or methyl transferase inhibitors, it is a drug which inhibits the enzyme catechol or methyl transferases, and these enzymes which methylates the catecholamines such as the dopamines, norepinephrines, epinephrine, etc. And it also methylates the levodopa. So here the COMT inhibitors examples are the entacapone and the tolcapone, and the peripheral decarboxylates inhibitors are the carbidopa and benzaldehydes. And the second category of drugs which comes under anti-Parkinsonian classification is the drug reducing cholinergic activities, and its subcategories are central anticholinergics such as benzhexol and procyclidins, and antihistaminics like orphanadrins and promethazine. So these are the drugs which comes under the classification of anti-Parkinsonian drugs. Now we will discuss the mode of action or the mechanism of action of Parkinsonian drugs. So anti-Parkinsonian agents are the specific drugs which is used to treat the extrapyramidal side effects of antipsychotic agents. We already said that the side effects may be sometime it may be Parkinsonism, akathisia, acute dystonia and tardive dyskinesia. In the classification section, we discussed about the anticholinergic drugs, antihistaminic drugs and the NMDA receptor antagonist and its examples of drugs which comes under these categories. But the anticholinergic drugs which may block the secretion but thereby reducing the symptoms of side effects such as the akathisia and acute dystonia, and it does not effective against the tardive dyskinesia. And the antihistaminic drugs have the effect same as to like of the anticholinergic drugs. We discussed one drug, that is the amantadine, which comes under the NMDA receptor antagonist. They are the dopamine releasing agents from the central neurons, and the studies which may shows that these drugs, that is the amantadines, may affect some clients or patients with tardive dyskinesia. And here added a simple image which will shows the whole mechanism of action of the Parkinsonian disease drugs. That is, after administering the drugs, the body starts its mechanism. Here, the levodopa is the main drug which convert into dopamine. Here we can see that the L-dopa which is converted into dopamine when it reaches the brain, and its conversion is helped by an enzymal activity, and the enzyme is the dopamine decarboxylase, and it binds with the receptors present therein. So when the levodopa converted into dopamine by the help of the enzyme dopamine decarboxylase, after the release of the dopamine, it binds with the dopamine receptors which are present in our brain, and this enzyme present both inside and outside the brain, and whose activity convert the levodopa into the dopamine. Dopamine is the ultimate product which we require to our body to cure the Parkinsonian disorder. But to prevent this conversion outside the brain, one more drug is given, that is the carbidopa, which inhibits the action of the enzyme outside the brain. And for increasing the activity of levodopa, we can give one another drug, that is selegiline, which is a MAO-B inhibitors, and this selegiline which degrade the amino group from the dopamine. So the removal of amine group causes the faster absorption of that drugs. That's why we are giving the selegiline to increasing the activity of the levodopa. So this is the mechanism of action of the whole drugs which is used in the Parkinsonian disease. So here I added the indications and nurses' responsibilities of anti-Parkinsonian drug. We already discussed that the anti-Parkinsonian drugs are mainly used to treat the extrapyramidal symptoms. And when we considering the nurses' responsibilities, the patients with a history of closed-angle glaucoma, urinary or intestinal obstructions, hypersensitivity and prostatic hypertrophy, tachycardia are not given the anti-Parkinsonian drugs, and also the drugs are given with a caution to the patients with myasthenia gravis, atherosclerosis and chronic respiratory problems. And anticholinergic drugs, amantadine, is given with a caution to the patients with renal impairment because most of the medication is excreted through the kidneys. So This is the main use of anti-Parkinsonian drug and the responsibility of nurses or who is taking care of a Parkinsonian patient. Here I added the main side effects of anticholinergics, antihistamines and amantadine, which comes under the anti-Parkinsonian drugs. When we considering the anticholinergic drugs, the main side effects are dry mouth, flushed, dry skin, blurred visions, photophobia, increased heart rate, constipation, urinary retention, mental confusion and excitement are the major side effects of anticholinergics. And in antihistaminics, the side effects are drowsiness, dizziness, anorexia, nausea, vomiting, euphoria, orthostatic hypotension, weight gain, weakness and tingling of hands. And for the amantadine, the side effects are mood changes, slurred speech, insomnia, inability to concentrate, dry mouth, libido reticularis, that is a red-blue net-like discoloration on the skin which become worsens in the winter. So these are the contraindications of the anti-Parkinsonian drugs. So this is all about the anti-Parkinsonian drugs and its uses in the psychopharmacology. Now we completed all the category of drugs which comes under psychopharmacology. On the next session we will start with a new topic. Till then, bye bye. Thank you all.